Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another exciting Dungeons & Dragons miniature review. Today we're taking a look at the Tortle, Druid, and Wild-Shaped Giant Lizard from Dungeons & Dragons Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. You can see the two figures there, the Giant Lizard and the Tortle Druid. Just loose in there, nothing holding them down. No translucent bases for the Terran pads they're attached to. Got a nice aquatic blue look on the packaging here. Turning it around, you can see no glamour shot. You don't get to see what these characters look like fully painted or what they could look like. Dungeons & Dragons Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures are highly detailed figures, primed and ready to paint out of the box. Featuring deep cuts for easier painting, these miniatures are packaged so you know exactly what you're getting. Features characters, monsters, and scenery from the Dungeons & Dragons universe. Minor assembly required, pre-primed and paint ready, may include translucent parts. Universal Terran pads can be swapped between the figures. D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. Expand your collection at wizkids.com/unpainted. And you can see all of the legal stuff. But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up the packaging on these two. So I'm going to take a few days to start slinging some paints. Don't go away. There's more figure review to be had. Alright, here is the Giant Lizard and the Tortle Druid painted and put together. And I think I did a pretty decent job. So first up, we'll take a look at the Tortle. So he looks pretty good. I painted to just look like a tortoise. I'll flash a picture on screen real quick to show the inspiration. But that is kind of what I was going for when painting this tortoise, right? Or this Tortle, sorry. The Tortle was painted to look like the tortoise. So I painted, his skin to be this kind of brownish beige color. It's got a darker shell with like some lighter brownish orange scootings there. Now, I originally thought this was magic, but on the pre-painted version, it is literally just water that he has. His stick, pretty cool. He's got this staff-like stick. And then his belt here, I wanted to look like it was made of vines. He's got these little pouches here hanging off of those vines. He's got a little tail. Pretty dynamic for a little player piece. His eyes. It's not going to focus. Come on, focus, please. You can see his eyes there. But yeah, it's a pretty decent turtle folk, which is essentially what a tortle is. It's just a turtle folk akin to like a dragonborn, a serpent folk, a crab folk, just a humanoid animal species in the game, right? So pretty cool. I really love how this guy turned out. Now I'm sure, obviously, some more experienced painters can do better, make it look super good. But I think within my skills, this is really cool. But yeah, that's the Tortle. And then we have the Giant Lizard, which I themed around a bearded dragon. So you can see right there, oranges and golds and browns of a bearded dragon. There's like some metallic gold for the scoots, some light brown for the horns. Inside of the mouth is red. He's got some green eyes. And then I even painted the base, right? So I could have taken the easy way out and just painted the base dark brown and then dry brushed some lighter brown over it. But I took the time to also add in the little different colored rocks. And I think it looks really good. it gives this thing almost a vintage D&D feel. Now, obviously, this could be painted way better. I'm sure somebody with a better skill set could paint it better, but within my skill, I think I did a pretty decent job, especially with how small those pupils are. It does not want to focus. Come on, focus, please. Especially with how small those pupils are. But it's pretty cool. And then the belly, if you can see it, is a lighter yellow, with the main body being a sort of orangey yellow, and then it's got like some brown dry brushing in there. But pretty simple. I like how it turned out. Again, it's not the greatest thing ever, but this is a nice little set of miniatures that I've made my own, because I did look up the images of what these figures look like pre-painted, and they're just green. It's a green lizard and it's a green tortle. He's got some water and he's got like a stick. So I like my versions better. It's more unique, right? Instead of what was shown with the pre-painted versions. So I really like how mine turned out. And obviously there's some real-world references to actual animals. So this is based on a tortoise. You got a tortoise-themed tortle. And then the giant lizard is based off of a bearded dragon. You might even say there's a little bit of King Ghidorah design in there with like the gold scoots on the back. But yeah, I really like how these two turned out. Guess we'll go into some comparisons with some other miniatures that I've painted. First up for comparison, we have the giant lizard and the tortle druid next to a Dungeons & Dragons crocodile, a deep cuts giant frog, and a deep cuts boar. Giant lizard and tortle druid next to a deep cuts magma scorpion. And finally, here is the giant lizard and tortle druid next to my deep cuts skeleton horse. I think this too is just a really cool set of miniatures. They're both reptilian, so of course this is a great set for me to have. A guy who loves lizards and snakes and turtles. Of course this is a set that your boy is going to paint. But yeah, I recommend this to paint for any other reptile lover. You get a really cool turtle, you get a giant lizard, and you don't have to paint them like I did. You know, these are why we have miniatures that are unpainted, because you can paint them however you want. You don't have to feel pressured to paint them a specific way. These are really cool. I like them. They were a lot of fun to paint. The only gripe I really have about the giant lizard is that they're inside of the mouth. Now, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but there's just a spot inside the mouth that I couldn't reach. It does not like to focus on this thing. It's just too yellow. It's too yellow. But yeah, it was hard to paint the inside of the mouth just because it's so closed in. It's really hard to fit a brush in there and paint everything. But I think I did a pretty good job. I just love how vintage this giant lizard looks in the colors that I painted. And then you got the turtle too. I really like these guys. I think they're great. I like my versions of them better than the versions that they released, because they're literally just a green turtle and a green lizard. That's what the pre-painted versions look like. But you got some variety with mine. I painted mine to look like a tortoise and a bearded dragon. So, you know, there you go. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care. Have a great night. And I'll see you in the next video.